Okay, so remember that they are changing my voice. So what is the difference between being someone who claims to be spiritual or someone who claims to be religious and someone who is morally precise? Well, I think that it's obvious that it's basically impossible to be morally precise without spiritual or religious consideration. One has to do what is right. And as you do what is right, you look and you see certain things taking place. For example, people say that there's such a thing as the spirit of a school, the spirit of a nation, the spirit of a people. It is so obvious to the masses when they consider what they've observed, empirical evidence, that they label it a school spirit when it's at a school. Say that's the Spartan spirit, or whatever. So one must do the right thing, and they must acknowledge that there's more taking place than meets the eye. And some of what's taking place, we believe that we can see it. And there are people in the government and other groups that don't want you to understand that I know for sure that when you're a righteous person in the divine order, that you can see it. So in regards to deeds, we must look at it in terms of what is the logical conclusion or the most logical assumption. That's why it says in Revelation 3 that Christ found the deeds of the church of Sardis unfinished. He goes on to say, repent, or there's gonna be consequences. Now, if we think of Christ as the spirit of righteousness, the spirit of justice in a certain point in the individual who has been the most righteous, who has come from a long line of righteous people cultivating righteousness, who has built as a wise builder on righteousness, then we see that it is obvious that the consequences are automatic. There's no escaping them. If you do the wicked thing all your life, then you're a wicked person, and you die a wicked person, and you meet your Creator as a wicked person. Pretty straightforward. So, just like it says in James, right? Faith without works are dead. It says in Revelation 3 that you have a reputation as the church of Sardis for being alive. But you are dead because you don't have those righteous deeds. Righteous deeds. We'll get into that in the next part when I talk about what the fine linen in the Bible symbolizes. And at first I wasn't even going to use the Bible, but you see how these things are universal when interpreted correctly, when interpreted in a way that's in the boundaries of righteousness and justice, and not in a way that has to do with the state trying to confuse people to take advantage of them, or the sexual agenda of corporations, which comes in various forms on a spectrum of evil. Sometimes it's flat out, straightforward sex cults, escorts, what have you. And sometimes it's more sneaky and trickery is involved. And they try to get people who do not want to whore themselves outright to lower their standard and be exploited. And that's called being evil. And evil is the opposite of universal, pinpointed moral precision, which is good.